Yo, what is going on, my beautiful people? As you can see by the title of the video, this is the Vicious Rejuvenation Revival Pack reveals. So, first off, I definitely got to thank Bondi for giving me the opportunity to do this. I wasn't expecting it. It came pretty much out of the blue while I was at work. Yeah, they shot me a message, asked me to do the reveals. I gladly accepted, and I really appreciate it. They do pay attention to a lot of the stuff we do post in the group, so that was one of the reasons why they chose me, and I really appreciate it. But to kind of tell you guys what's in the pack itself, if you didn't know, there is 6 cards total. There's 4 reboot cards and 2 reprints. For the 4 reprints, there's 2 leaders and 2 extra cards. So we're gonna talk about those, give you guys my thoughts on them, and let's first start off with the reprints. All right, starting off with the reprints, we have the SS3 Tag Team Son Gohan, as some of you saw in the announcement trailer, and we also have the Bergamo Ferocious Roar. So, a few reasons why these cards specifically probably got reprinted is because they've pretty much become staples in their respective colors. Tag Team Gohan has started to see, a lot more play in the past, few months or, this past year in terms of, playability and, splashed or being splashed in black decks, simply because he can be used in, aggro decks, defensive, more defensive laid back decks. As we saw with, stuff like VJX or Majin Buu, with the U3 stuff, being able to warp your guys, play them from the drop area, and then free play him from your hand. So he's been obviously used in broken strategies like that, and just defensively as well, being able to get played when one of your black battle cards is removed from play by a skill. Really great reprint, really cool card. So the Bergamo Ferocious Roar, he obviously has been pretty much a staple in all yellow decks we've seen this past year, because of the strategy where you can use the Zamasu super combo to switch one of your opponent's battle cards or leader card to rest mode, and then you can tap 2 energy to play him. That's just the most energy efficient way to play him from your hand, and then he gets to switch 2 of your opponent's cards, battle card and or energy, ignoring barrier to rest mode. So it's a really good skill. But he obviously, as you'll see in just a little bit, he has another use and another kind of leader, and as you can see in his skill, it's Universe 9 leaders also. So let's kind of hop into these reboot cards, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so the first leader we have up on our screen is the Bergamo leader. He did get the reboot. I think this leader is really cool in how they've updated it, and hopefully they do a lot more leaders from TOP like this, because this would really fix a lot of problems with a lot of those old TOP leaders. But let's kind of hop into it. So he's Bergamo on the front, still 10k leader. The new permanent that they added is you treat all Universe 9 cards in all areas as if they had no specified cost. So that's really cool, meaning you don't really have to worry about what you charge turn 1 in terms of color. And this also kind of goes back into the reprint card where the Bergamo 5-drop got reprinted. So this is a really good reprint, matched up with the reboot leader. And then when he attacks, you draw 1. And at the end of your turn, you may choose 1 Universe 9 card with an energy cost of 2 or less in your hand, play it, and if you do, you get to add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So it's free play mixed with Self-Awaken, which I think is really cool, and really helps you set up like the leader plus Bergamo, Basil, and Lavender Lock. So that's something that's really cool that they added into the leader. He still awakens at 4 or less life to untap 2 energy, so you can still extend more plays going into like turn 3 or turn 4. So it's really great, really awesome. And we can look on this leader's backside now. So this leader on the backside, Vicious Revival Bergamo, he's still 15k. He has still the same permanent where, you know, they're treated as no specific cost to U9 cards, but his previous permanent got updated. So if you have at least one lavender and one basil in play, your opponent's leader card can't attack this card or unison cards. So that's really great, really good updated card text. And because you can kind of play like a blue or a yellow deck, that means you can potentially splash like a mixed match of blue and yellow unisons, and you don't have to worry about your opponent attacking them if you have a basil or a lavender in play. And then when he attacks, you draw one card, and at the end of your turn, you get to play a U9 with an energy cost of 2 or less for free. So still has the same card text, helps you set up the lock really easily because there's a few lavenders and basils that are cost 1 or 2. So, you know, a few cards that you can play off the skill that are really good. 3 of these you should already kind of know because they've been played in more like yellow based decks, but you can also play it in this leader as well. The Row, Chapel, and Basil, you guys kind of know what they are. But the 2 cards that came out in TOP that are really good, the Universe 9 Striker Roselle and the Oregano, your Roselle being your search top 3 for a U9 card, or U9 battle card. And then the Oregano, which is pretty much a hand filter, where when he's played, you show your opponent one Universe 9 card from your hand, and then you bottom deck it to draw 2. So that's really good. You can build a lot of different strategies with this, but for the most part, you're going to be playing more of a lock strategy where you can play rows and chapels to lock your opponent out of your energy, to set up your basil and lavenders to lock your opponent out from unisons and attacking. They still have the field card that stops your opponent from using like card skills and stuff. Not on play autos, but it still negates the skills regardless. So that's something that's pretty cool. I really like the cards. I really like this leader. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Now let's hop into this next leader, which is really, really amazing. Yes, as you can see, we now have a new announcer leader. He is the reboot announcer leader. And to kind of keep this short, because we got a lot to go over with this leader, let's hop into it. So the permanent skill is still relatively the same. You can only play, you can't play any non-world tournament battle cards or multicolor cards in your deck, which is fine. Leader realistically didn't need it or had access to it because he is a black leader. Permanent, treat all world martial art, world tournament cards in all areas as if they had no specified cost. But the update is you ignore any leader card color requirements on world tournament card skills. So what that means now is that you were able to play any one of these 4 combinations of cards or strategies. So the Pans, the Proudest Grandpa and Daughter, the Destined Conclusion, the Trading Moves, the Unyielding Victory combo. You can now play these because the blue required it blue, the greens required green leaders, and the yellow obviously required a yellow leader. Now that doesn't matter. So you can add in a really large amount of draw power in your deck with the Proudest combo, hand destruction with the Trading Moves or Destined Conclusion, or even just multiple attacks plus a combination of defense with the Unyielding Victory combo, which is really, really cool. Really, it's kind of crazy that they would allow this or change something like this. I think it's really great for this leader, giving him basically 4 new play styles to choose from. I think that's really, really great, really awesome. I know you're thinking, well, the green combo, the best combo is the Proudest, the Proudest Daughter and Grandpa combo. But because of what the leader does on the backside, which you'll see soon, all of these are now like really, really strong and really playable. But let's finish up. They added when this card attacks, you draw 1. So they took away the auto to when you play 1, you get to draw a card, which I think is fine. They had to kind of water him down to give him the ignore any leader color permanent, which I think is fair, because if not, this leader would have generated way too much advantage on the front side and going into the back. But when you awaken, if your life is 4 or less, you switch up 2 energy, so that's still the same as well. But let's show you guys this backside. So it still has the permanent to where it ignores the color and specified cost. When this card attacks, you still draw 1, but the activate main is new. Once per turn, tap 1 energy. You choose 1 World Tournament card in your battle area. That is the cost. You choose up to 1 battle card from your hand with a card name in the chosen card skills text and play it. So what that means essentially is that you are almost guaranteed to always be able to play these combos for a total of 4 energy. Or if you use the Dende from the power booster, you can now play these combos for a total of 3 energy, because all you have to do is play one of your 3 drops with the Dende skill, and then you can tap 1 energy to play the other part of it. So Dende will play the Hercule, the Tien, the Hero, or the Goku, and then your leader will be able to play the Pan or the Piccolo, the Mercenary Tao, or the Jackie Chun. So that's really great. It's a really nice skill. I think it combos really well with a lot of other cards that came out in the power boosters, other really good cards in the archetype just in general. So this leader is absolutely amazing. I think this leader is really dope. This is a really good reboot. I think this is how you are supposed to reboot leaders that were relatively good, but now you just kind of made them so much better, and I really like this. Kudos to Bandai. But next up, we're gonna kind of talk about these reboot extra cards. All right, so we'll start off with the one that you guys probably already saw in the announcement trailer. Demonic Restraint. This card is absolutely snapped in half, as some of the old community members would say. This is one of those types of cards that gets a reboot, and it can completely shift an entire archetype into a meta relevant strategy. So to kind of keep this short, because there's a lot of things to kind of go over as to why this card is good, let's go into it. Demonic Restraint. It is a 1 cost extra card. It is a field card. It's permanent. It's always treated as Broly's Ring in all areas, and cards in your hand obviously can't be discarded by your green Broly leader. So that's great. It's basically a Broly's Ring. The 2 new skills, we'll first talk about this auto, is if your leader card is a mono green Broly, obviously OG Broly, when this card is discarded or placed in the drop area from your battle area by one of your leader card or battle card skills, activate this card from your drop area, then add a life. Well, you can add up to 1 life, so you're not forced to. That right there single-handedly made this card absolutely snapped in half, because one of the issues that the deck had was constantly having to choose between sniping one of your battle cards and or your Broly's Ring, and then having to replay the Broly's Ring. Now you don't have to do that. You can just keep sniping this Demonic Restraint, and it keeps playing itself over and over. So now you don't have to fill your deck up essentially with like relatively useless 1-drops to constantly snipe off. So it fixes like an energy kind of like an energy thing that the deck had as a problem. Also, it gives you an additional kind of turn 1 play where you can swing with your leader, discard this, it'll play itself, and your opponent discards a card, and you can grab a card, and now you have an energy open to potentially play like the 1-drop Broly to look at the top cards and add a Broly, or you can do other card kind of combinations of stuff. And then the activate main is once per turn you can tap 3 energy. If your leader is a mono green Broly, you can choose 1 mono green Broly card with the energy cost of 6 or less in your hand and play it. So that basically kind of fixes another issue with the deck, was being able to be energy efficient and have like big guys discard cards. So now you can play your 6-drop Broly, the Broly Rampaging Horde, from your hand for 3 energy. This card is like just snapped in half, like off rip. And because it's 6 or less, this allows you to play so many other Broly cards. So, you know, you can save a lot of energy on like some of the 4 drops. Obviously, the 6 drop being the best card to play because it discards 2 from your opponent's hand, and it's a 30k double striker. You know, going back into the auto, one of the reasons this auto is really strong is because of the Broly ISR. So it's a SS3 Broly Saiyan Berserker. You can play it from your deck, but not only that, you can use the activate main to tap 4 energy to snipe this, play it from your hand, and then play a 7 drop, and then use the demonic restraints auto to play it back again. So you can set up so many different plays with this. You constantly have a Broly's ring. This fixed basically outside of maybe like, you know, it just being a green leader in general. This fixed almost every single problem this deck had, and I wouldn't be surprised if you saw this deck, you know, in a couple events. But that's kind of just a quick rundown of what I think about this card and why it's so good. Let's hop into the last and final reboot extra card and just card in general. All right, last but not least, we got Return of the King. So this is the King Vegeta Leader's extra card. It's a reboot card for King Vegeta's Dynasty, which I think is, this card solves one of the issues that the deck had, and we'll kind of go over that really quickly now. So it's a 2-cost extra card. It's multicolor, so it has energy exhaust. The permanent is discard is treated as King Vegeta's Dynasty in all areas. Also, which is about to be like one of the reasons why I think it fixed an issue with the deck. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, your red King Vegeta leader can activate its awaken skill. So one of the reasons why I think this is really good is because the leader by itself, his awaken skill says if you have King Vegeta, you can only awaken if you have King Vegeta's Dynasty in play and you had 3 or more energy. So it letting you awaken on any turn 2, whether it be yours or your opponent, is good, because this leader used to get pummeled by aggro. Basically, you were almost always gonna die on turn 2 because this leader can't play anything that's not a Saiyan, you know, battle card wise. So that means you didn't have access to Topo. You had to kind of figure out your way with negates. And it didn't allow you to tap turn 2 to play your Return of the King or your King Vegeta's Dynasty. Now you can kind of play this on turn 2, and you know you'll be able to play a negate or awaken into an aggro deck. So that's something that's really cool, really, you know, really great. Something I like about this card. The next skill is basically the same as the old King Vegeta's Dynasty. If your leader is King Vegeta, the red one, when this card is placed in your battle area, you can play a red or green Saiyan with an energy cost of 2 or less with its skills negated, and then you draw 2. So it replaces itself plus the card you play, which has always been a good skill on the card. The new updated skill, they took away the negate effect that it had, where it had to pop itself to negate an attack, and they gave you an activate battle skill that's once per turn, so you can use this on your turn or your opponent's turn. If your leader card is a red King Vegeta card, you can use a red-green multicolor battle card from your drop area in a combo with its skills negated for the turn. So this is really good. Reason being is because it sets up a lot of arrival plays on yours and your opponent's turn, and it gives you basically, it saves you the time of having to maybe tap an energy, and it's free combo power for 1 attack. So you can swing with something, make, you know, combo your Nappa super combo, free arrival into a Gogeta, and you don't have to waste cards out of your hand outside of the arrival. So that's really cool, really great. It also helps you kind of set up like the SS3 scramble, secret rare for, you know, you can just combo with something from your drop area and then play that, snipe your opponent for 2 life, and now pretty much whatever they combo is pretty much null and void. That's 3 or less. This card is really good. I think one of the issues with this card is that maybe they should have given it an additional skill like they did like the Android 21 stuff, where if your leader's a red King Vegeta leader, you ignore energy exhaust. I think that would have probably pushed this card a little bit further and made it, you know, really good, like the Broly's Ring, you know, card, Demonic Restraint. But I think the card is good. but I don't think it's strong enough after reading like Demonic Restraint to push the leader into more of a meta relevant status, if that makes sense. But we're kind of going to look over all of the cards that we just showed and give you guys my final opinion. Alright guys, so quick final thoughts. On the reprints, as I said before when we kind of, talked over them for a little bit, I think these reprints are really good for the sole reason that, they've become pretty much staples in their respective colors. Bergamo also having the, added benefit of being reprinted in the same set of its reboot leader. So that's something that's, really cool. These could have been obviously other cards, which, I know some people may be thinking, I know people wanted Ape reprint, people wanted a plethora of other cards reprinted. But like I said, these cards are fine. Tag Team is really good in black decks. Bergamo obviously is going to be really good in the new leader plus the new Mecha Frieza leader, so that's something that's good. So the leaders, this is another thing. I know some people may not have wanted these specific leaders reprinted, but I think these leaders are fine. These are leaders from sets that, the leaders from those sets really didn't get to shine. I know maybe there was like a few TOP leaders that were like relatively decent, and I know Announcer himself and I think maybe even Hercule were pretty good leaders, but they were old. I think these leaders just kind of give you like a new way to play them. Bergamo being able to kind of play his lockdown a little bit more efficiently, and Announcer being able to kind of expand upon his play style from what it was before. So these two leaders, in my opinion, are really, really good. Good job, Bandai. The two extra cards, Return of the King, while it did fix pretty much one issue that the deck had, which is, obviously being able to awaken against aggro, I think it was missing maybe one or two other things that may have been able to push this card, to be able to push the leader, a little bit farther ahead in terms of viability in the current format. He's still a fun deck, still a fun leader, but maybe if this card ignored energy exhaust, it may have been a little bit better. Demonic Restraint, like I said, this card is snapped. This card literally fixes almost, I think, every single issue that the deck had. It gets a discard to play it for free. You can constantly pop it with your leader skill, so you can replay it, so you no longer have to worry about playing little one drops to fulfill that cost, and being able to play a 6 or less Broly for 3 energy is really cost efficient, especially because that Broly is a 30k double striker that discards 2 cards. So all in all, really like these cards. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and peace.